As you may know, last week was Pentecost Sunday, a day when we remember how there were hundreds of people from all different language backgrounds gathered near the disciples. And God found a way through those disciples to speak to each of them in their own mother tongue, the language they understood most intimately. We believe that God welcomes all people, no matter what language they understand best. And He desires to connect with each person intimately in their own heart language. He also calls us as His church to do the same. As Pastor Marla said, let's be a church that speaks people fluently. We want all people to understand that God can speak people fluently, no matter which people they are. Several years ago, we decided to join those that were working on that concept tangibly by developing Bible translation and literacy materials for people who didn't yet have access to things like that. These days, the vast majority of translation and literacy work is done by local people working in their own first languages. But they do need support from others who can provide training and technical support for their work. So in 2008, we joined support teams in Sudan and later Ethiopia. Then, when our family needs changed a couple of years ago, we moved back to the States. I now teach adult speakers of other languages at Hawthorne Center here in Rochester, including our friend Feroza, who was sponsored by our church when she and her family moved to Rochester from Afghanistan last year.
I now work from our home here in Rochester, where I continue to support Bible translation and literacy by providing technical support to teams around the world. I still collaborate with those in Ethiopia, but I also work with a remote group that responds to a variety of technical problems. As in academic work everywhere, computers are central to the work of translators and linguists, no matter where they live. And for computers to function, there must be consistent, reliable electricity and internet, two things that can be very challenging in many places. For example, teams in Togo, Burkina Faso, and South Sudan have been struggling because their data servers are crashing every time their backup batteries run out. I've been working to design and build a small device that can monitor the battery charge level so they can safely shut down the servers when the batteries get low. You may have heard of Starlink, which is providing a new way to access the internet in remote locations through satellite. For teams that often go weeks or months without being able to connect to the internet and get the ongoing support they need from others, this presents a terrific opportunity to help them in their work. However, new technology comes with new complications. So my team has also been working on designing a hardware solution to power Starlink from solar panels. And in Ethiopia, I've recently been planning with the team to set up a solar panel system they can use to power their computers. They will also be able to use it as a phone charging station. The long-term goal is for this to be the beginning of a community center that can support people in literacy and health education, Bible studies, and other community engagement opportunities. Although I do most of my work remotely from my basement here in Rochester, I also spend part of my time traveling to field locations. In March, I spent a couple of weeks in Ethiopia, and in April, I spent some time working in person with my colleagues in North Carolina.
No matter who we are or where we live, all of us are called to love and serve others. Andy and I are thankful for the ways we've been able to continue working here in Rochester. But we are very cognizant of the fact that Andy would not be able to continue his work without your financial support. Thank you for speaking people with us.